Heavy manipulation tactics you need to know. Marcus Aurelius once warned, the art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. In today's world, that wrestling often involves battling against unseen forces that seek to manipulate us. Welcome to Stoic in Your Life, where today we delve into the shadowy realm of heavy manipulation tactics that you absolutely need to know. We will dissect some of the most potent manipulation tactics. Remember, knowledge is neutral. Its moral value depends on how it's used. Our goal is to equip you with defensive tools, not offensive ones. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to not only recognize manipulation, but to safeguard against it, empowering you to face the world with a more critical eye and a resilient spirit. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate the notifications for Stoic in Your Life. It supports our work and keeps you updated. Let's dive into the darker side of social dynamics and learn how to protect ourselves from manipulation. 1. Triangulation. In today's world, where the currents of interpersonal dynamics are often clouded by sophisticated manipulation strategies, understanding these tactics is more than just insightful, it's imperative. Triangulation stands out as a particularly insidious form of manipulation that can pervade our personal and professional lives, subtly altering the landscape of our relationships and leaving in its wake confusion and distrust. Triangulation involves the strategic introduction of a third party into a relationship dynamic, creating divisions and tension. This tactic is employed by a manipulator who uses this third individual as a pawn to wield control, destabilize existing bonds, or deflect attention from their own dubious behaviors. By playing one individual against another, sharing skewed or confidential information, or using the third party to corroborate their own viewpoints, the manipulator can undermine the credibility of one of the parties. This often leads the victims to question their own perspectives and trust, fostering isolation and increased dependency on the manipulator. Consider a scenario in a familial setting where a parent disparages one child in front of another. This not only creates a divide between the siblings, but also secures an ally in one child, leaving the other feeling ostracized and insecure. Similarly, in a workplace, a manager might impart negative remarks about one employee to another, sparking a cycle of rivalry and distrust that benefits only the manipulator, keeping them in a position of power. The truly destructive aspect of triangulation is how it erodes the very foundation of trust and direct communication among those involved. Victims often find themselves embroiled in a whirlpool of misunderstandings and conflicts, unaware of the manipulator's influence in these issues. To effectively counter such manipulation, it's essential to recognize the signs of triangulation, promote open and transparent communication between those manipulated, and maintain robust personal boundaries. Challenging the veracity of the information received, seeking direct clarifications from other parties involved, and refraining from engaging in divisive interactions are vital steps in dismantling the manipulative framework constructed by the triangulator. As Seneca once advised, time discovers truth. In the context of modern manipulation, this timeless wisdom serves as a guiding beacon. By nurturing an environment where truth can flourish through honest dialogues and a refusal to be swayed by hearsay, we empower ourselves and others to stand firm against the turbulent waves of manipulation. In doing so, not only do we preserve the integrity of our relationships, but we also foster a culture of trust and accountability, essential components in both personal growth and collective well-being. Thus, as we navigate the complexities of modern relationships, let us draw on the Stoic principles of clarity, rationality, and resilience. By embedding these virtues in our daily interactions, we shield ourselves from the corrosive effects of manipulation and cultivate a life of authenticity and peace. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Through understanding and resilience, we can transcend the manipulations that seek to undermine us and emerge stronger, with relationships built on genuine trust and respect. Two, double bind. In the treacherous landscape of psychological manipulation, one particularly vexing tactic is the double bind. Picture this. You're faced with two contradictory commands or choices, each designed to trap you in a no-win situation. Whether you zig or zag, the outcome positions you unfavorably, painting every decision as a misstep. This method thrives on planting seeds of confusion and helplessness in the victim, ensuring they feel constantly disempowered. Consider a scenario many of us might find familiar in our daily interactions. A parent chastises their child for not being communicative and open. However, when the child attempts to express their emotions, they're criticized for being disrespectful or overly sensitive. In this typical double bind, whether the child chooses silence or expression, they face reprimand. Similarly, in romantic relationships, one partner might express a desire for more independence, yet react negatively when the other person takes time for themselves. Here, too, the double bind manifests, leaving the partner bewildered and unsure, as every attempt to please ends in dissatisfaction. The insidious nature of the double bind lies in its ability to undermine one's trust in their own judgment and perceptions. This erosion of self-confidence can lead to a crippling cycle of self-doubt and lowered self-esteem, pushing the individual further into reliance on the manipulator who set the trap. So how can one escape this psychological snare? First, recognizing the situation for what it is, a deliberate trap and not a reflection of personal failure, is crucial. Seeking validation from trusted friends, counselors, or therapists can reinforce your perceptions and bolster your resolve. Furthermore, establishing firm boundaries and practicing assertive communication are essential defenses against such manipulative tactics. Let's dive into a modern example that might resonate with you. Imagine a young professional named Alex, who is constantly given mixed signals by their boss about taking initiative. On one hand, Alex is encouraged to lead projects and make independent decisions. On the other, they are often criticized for not consulting the team or overstepping boundaries. This continuous push and pull leaves Alex in a state of professional paralysis, unsure whether to step forward or pull back. How might you navigate a double bind in your own life? Have you ever found yourself trapped between conflicting demands, and how did you respond? Understanding and discussing these situations can empower us to recognize manipulation tactics and reclaim control over our decisions. Remember that the ability to identify and dismantle a double bind not only liberates us from manipulative relationships, but also strengthens our capacity to trust ourselves and our judgments. This newfound clarity and confidence are invaluable as we stride forward in our personal and professional lives, armed with the wisdom to sidestep these traps and advocate for our own mental and emotional freedom. Three, projection. In today's session, we explore a particularly insidious form of manipulation known as projection. This tactic involves a manipulator attributing their own flaws, undesirable feelings, or covert intentions onto another person, typically the victim. This often occurs when the manipulator is either unable or unwilling to confront their own shortcomings or negative behaviors. Instead of acknowledging these issues, they project them onto someone else, prompting that person to feel unjustly guilty or to doubt their own actions and emotions. Let's consider an example. A partner who is consumed by jealousy might accuse you of being unfaithful or overly friendly with others. In reality, these accusations are often a reflection of the accuser's own thoughts or behaviors, not yours. Marcus Aurelius once noted, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." This wisdom rings particularly true in the face of projection, where the manipulator's accusations are merely their own opinions and distorted perspectives thrust upon you. Projection serves as a strategic deflection tool, allowing the manipulator to avoid scrutiny of their own flaws while transferring that scrutiny to the victim. This can lead to the victim feeling defensive, confused, or guilty for things they haven't actually done, which can undermine their self-esteem and enhance their emotional dependence on the manipulator. Have you ever found yourself defending your character against accusations that felt misaligned with your true self? Or perhaps you've felt a troubling sense of guilt over issues that you knew deep down weren't your own. Addressing projection requires strong personal awareness and a firm understanding of one's boundaries. It's vital for victims to discern when this manipulation tactic is being employed against them and to actively refuse to internalize the unfounded accusations. Keeping a detailed record of personal thoughts and feelings can help distinguish one's true self from the manipulator's fabrications. Additionally, soliciting feedback from trustworthy friends or confidants can provide a reality check and reinforce one's perspective. To combat the effects of projection, practicing self-affirmation and establishing emotional distance from the manipulator are crucial steps. Setting clear boundaries and, in severe situations, considering the severance of ties or seeking professional guidance are necessary to fully extricate oneself from the emotional turmoil caused by this manipulation tactic. As we continue to delve deeper into the complexities of manipulation tactics, I encourage you to reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever been subjected to projection? How did you respond? And what boundaries did you find effective in protecting your mental and emotional health? These are crucial questions to ask as we equip ourselves with the knowledge and tools provided by Stoicism to navigate and counter such challenging interactions. 4. Time pressure. In the intricate dance of human interaction, the art of manipulation often lurks in the shadows, subtly bending wills and swaying decisions. Among the plethora of tactics employed by adept manipulators, time pressure stands out as a particularly potent weapon. This strategy fabricates a false sense of urgency, compelling its target to make snap judgments under the cloud of looming deadlines or fleeting opportunities. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once advised, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This resonates deeply when considering how the fear of missing out, FOMO, can cloud our judgment. Imagine you're presented with a once-in-a-lifetime deal that expires in just hours, or pressed to make a decision that could impact your entire career by the end of the day. Such scenarios are common in high-stakes sales environments or intense negotiations. The manipulator's goal here is clear: to limit your ability to thoroughly evaluate the situation, seek advice, or simply listen to your gut instinct. This rush can lead to decisions that might serve the interests of others more than your own. For instance, consider a scenario in corporate negotiations where a deal must be closed swiftly to lock in prices or secure a partnership. The pressure to act swiftly can lead you to overlook finer details or agree to terms less favorable than possible with more time. Similarly, in personal relationships, demands for immediate decisions on significant issues can strain bonds and foster resentment. To navigate such treacherous waters, one must first recognize the signs of time manipulation. It is crucial to assert the need for adequate time to reflect upon any decision. As Marcus Aurelius, a beacon of Stoic wisdom, once proclaimed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This empowerment involves understanding that true emergencies requiring instant decisions are rare. More often than not, the opportunity to delay a decision brings with it the chance for additional information and perspectives, enriching your understanding and potentially altering your course of action. The wisdom of pausing and reflecting cannot be overstated. In a world that prizes speed over accuracy, the ability to slow down can be your greatest defense against manipulation. It's about embracing the Stoic practice of equanimity, maintaining a calm mind amid chaos, allowing you to see through the veil of urgency that manipulators often weave. By doing so, you can transform potential vulnerability into a position of strength, making decisions that are reasoned, well-considered, and ultimately, more aligned with your long-term goals and values. Incorporating these elements into your life isn't just about avoiding manipulation. It's about cultivating a deeper sense of personal agency and resilience. It connects the timeless wisdom of Stoicism with the modern challenges we face, ensuring that we navigate our paths with both caution and clarity. This approach not only enhances our own lives, but also acts as a beacon for others, inspiring them to seek wisdom in stillness and strength in thoughtfulness. Five, inconsistency and unpredictability. In the realm of manipulation, inconsistency and unpredictability emerge as particularly potent tactics where the manipulator's behavior oscillates dramatically without warning, affectionate and engaged in one instance, then cold and dismissive the next. This roller coaster of emotional extremes plunges the victim into a state of confusion and insecurity, struggling to make sense of the erratic changes. Such tactics are especially prevalent in abusive relationships, where an abuser may alternate between expressions of care and harshness, crafting an emotionally volatile atmosphere. As the victim, you might find yourself constantly trying to decode the manipulator's actions, seeking their approval or affection, and trapped in an endless cycle of striving to please them, with neither stability nor fulfillment ever truly within reach. But why is this tactic so effective? It exploits a fundamental human need for consistency and predictability. When actions and moods of someone do not align in any logical sequence, it makes it incredibly challenging for others to anticipate and effectively respond, which often results in a state of emotional and psychological dependency on the manipulator. This person then appears to be the only source of any real stability or resolution. Consider a scenario in your professional life, for example, where your supervisor is unpredictably erratic. On some days, you're praised and valued, but on others, you might be inexplicably ignored or even criticized. Living under such conditions, you're likely to experience constant anxiety and self-doubt, forever on alert, trying to align your actions with what might please your boss from moment to moment. This example illustrates the unsettling and harmful nature of inconsistency and how it can permeate everyday experiences. So how can you safeguard yourself against such manipulative tactics? Recognizing these behavioral patterns is the first critical step. It's important to realize that you are not obligated to continually adjust and contort yourself to satisfy someone else's unpredictable demands. Setting firm boundaries and keeping an emotional distance are vital strategies. Moreover, reaching out for support from friends, family, or mental health professionals can provide much-needed perspective and assistance in dealing with such manipulation, helping you to restore your self-esteem and reclaim your independence. Ultimately, you have the power and the right to shape your own emotional environment. You need not remain captive to another's whimsical and unpredictable dictates. What measures will you initiate today to defend your tranquility and regain authority over your emotional health? Six, emotional blackmail. Now we delve into a potent and often detrimental tactic known as emotional blackmail. This form of manipulation exploits the core of our emotional connections, using feelings of obligation, fear, guilt, or shame to coerce us into acting against our own principles and best interests. Why is this tactic so alarmingly effective? It cleverly manipulates the emotional bonds that we value most, transforming them into mechanisms of control. Consider scenarios where someone might say, "If you really loved me, you would do this for me." Or, "I can't believe you would let me face this alone." These are not just simple requests for assistance. They are strategic statements that burden you with a false sense of duty, instilling fear about the potential loss of a relationship or inducing guilt for not living up to imposed expectations. How would a Stoic philosopher like Marcus Aurelius recommend we handle such manipulation? He famously stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Following this wisdom, the initial step to counteract emotional blackmail is awareness, recognizing when someone is using your emotions against you. The next crucial steps involve establishing and maintaining clear personal boundaries. It is essential to communicate your needs and emotions assertively, not aggressively, ensuring that your actions are guided by your true self and principles, not by others' manipulative tactics. Strengthening self-esteem is equally important, as is seeking external support when needed. Connecting with friends, family, or professionals can provide critical perspective and support, serving as a buffer against emotional manipulation. Reflect upon this. Have there been times when you felt pressured to act out of guilt or fear rather than out of conviction? How did you handle these situations, and what might you do differently if faced with similar circumstances again? Encouraging open dialogue within our community helps us all learn and grow stronger in our Stoic practices. By understanding and discussing these manipulation tactics, we fortify our resolve to live with authenticity and emotional independence. This pursuit of inner freedom and peace, irrespective of external pressures, is at the heart of Stoicism. Let us continue to support each other in recognizing these challenges and enhancing our emotional resilience. What concrete actions will you commit to today to protect your emotional autonomy and integrity? Seven, gaslighting. In the labyrinth of human interactions, gaslighting emerges as a dark art, one that warps reality and seeds doubt in the most resilient of minds. This cunning form of manipulation involves the manipulator flatly denying the occurrence of events or distorting facts, directly contradicting the victim's memory. More insidiously, they might devalue the victim's feelings, branding them as irrational or insane, or even wield privileged information as a weapon to discredit and disorient. Victims of gaslighting find themselves trapped in a relentless cycle of self-doubt and the desperate quest for external validation. The theaters of gaslighting are as varied as they are common, surfacing in personal relationships, professional environments, and even the vast arenas of politics and media. The effects of such manipulation are devastating: prolonged anxiety, deep-seated depression, and an eroded trust in one's own perceptions and memories. To confront gaslighting is to embark on a journey of reclaiming one's sanity and self-worth. Countering this manipulation requires an ironclad trust in oneself and one's perceptions. Tactics to fortify this trust include meticulous record-keeping of events or conversations, which serves as an immutable reference of reality. Seeking out external perspectives can also provide much-needed validation of one's experiences and help ground one's sense of reality. Moreover, establishing firm boundaries, or in severe cases severing ties with the manipulator, becomes crucial in reclaiming autonomy. The act of recognizing and naming the manipulation is fundamentally empowering. It returns control to the victim and diminishes the manipulator's influence. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." This wisdom resonates deeply with those battling gaslighting, as it encourages a focus on one's immediate experiences and perceptions, unclouded by manipulation. The Stoic approach to life emphasizes resilience and the pursuit of inner tranquility, principles that are profoundly relevant when navigating and countering manipulative behaviors in modern society. In today's fast-paced world, where authenticity is often masked by manipulation, understanding and resisting such tactics are crucial. By weaving ancient Stoic principles into this contemporary struggle, one not only learns to identify and combat manipulation, but also to cultivate a life of genuine contentment and strength. Remember, the power to define your reality lies within you. Trust in your perceptions, record your truths, and maintain boundaries with unshakable resolve. As you walk this path of awareness and empowerment, the shadows of doubt cast by gaslighting will gradually recede, replaced by the clear light of self-assurance and peace. Eight, false social approval. In today's interconnected world where opinions can be swayed by the click of a button, it is crucial to remain vigilant against the subtle yet pervasive tactic of false social approval. This manipulation strategy leverages our intrinsic desire to be part of a group and to make choices that align with perceived popular norms. Manipulators craftily create an illusion of consensus, making their opinions, behaviors, or products seem more endorsed than they truly are. This can manifest in numerous facets of daily life, from misleading advertisements boasting unsubstantiated claims of a product's popularity to social pressures in personal relationships, where someone might claim, "Everyone thinks this is okay." Consider a scenario in modern corporate culture. A project leader announces that the majority of the team supports a particular strategy, despite this not being the case. Team members might feel compelled to align their views with this misrepresented majority to avoid standing out. The danger here is not just in the suppression of individual opinions, but in the potential to make decisions based on distorted information, which could have far-reaching negative impacts on the project's success. The manipulation through false social approval is particularly insidious because it preys on our fears of isolation and our tendency to conform under social pressure, especially in situations laden with uncertainty. For instance, in the realm of social media, influencers might promote products by falsely claiming that they are the community's favorite, thus pushing their audience towards purchasing decisions based not on genuine preference, but on a fabricated sense of community approval. How can you as an individual striving to live a stoic and examined life defend against such manipulation? The first step is cultivating a critical mindset. Always question the source of your information. Is there tangible evidence supporting claims of popularity? Are these endorsements verifiable? Encouraging this level of scrutiny not only protects you from falling prey to manipulation, but also strengthens your ability to make decisions that are truly in your best interest. Moreover, by understanding this manipulation, you empower yourself to stand firm in your convictions, even in the face of apparent majority opposition. This act of defiance is not merely a rejection of false consensus, but a deeper affirmation of your values and judgment. It is an exercise in authenticity that can feel profoundly liberating. Reflect on this. When next confronted with a situation where you sense the manipulation of false social approval at play, how will you respond? Will you pause to critically evaluate the claims, seeking out factual accuracy, or will you go along with the crowd? Each decision you make in these moments not only shapes your path, but also defines your character in the mosaic of your life's experiences. By fostering awareness and promoting an inquiry-based approach to the information we encounter, we not only shield ourselves but also contribute positively to a culture of transparency and integrity. Remember, the true measure of our choices lies not in their popularity, but in their alignment with our deepest truths and principles. Let this understanding guide you as you navigate through the complexities of social interactions and decision-making. Embrace the challenge of discerning the real from the manipulated, a challenge that, while daunting, can significantly enhance your personal and professional life. 9. Concealment of information. In our pursuit of Stoic wisdom, let us address a subtle yet profound manipulation tactic that often remains hidden yet pervasive in our daily interactions: the concealment of information. This deceptive strategy is characterized by one party's deliberate withholding of critical information from another, aiming to influence decisions or shape perceptions. Reflect for a moment. How often have you found yourself making decisions with only partial knowledge? How might complete transparency have altered your choices? Envision yourself navigating through various life scenarios, be it in personal relationships, at your workplace, during crucial negotiations, or even within the realm of politics. Each of these arenas presents potential for manipulation through the withholding of essential information. For instance, consider a partner who omits details about their financial health or past relationships, which undermines the trust that is the bedrock of your connection. In a professional context, a supervisor might fail to disclose the full demands of a project, leading to unforeseen challenges for you. When negotiating a purchase, key shortcomings of a product might be hidden, pushing you toward a decision you might later regret. In the political arena, the selective disclosure of information can significantly influence public opinion and electoral results. What defenses can you employ against such hidden manipulation? Seneca's words echo through time, advising us that time discovers truth. The foremost shield against deceit is to cultivate a mindset of inquiry and scrutiny. Make it a habit to verify information from diverse sources, pose incisive questions, and demand transparency in all dealings. Build a critical awareness and approach received information with skepticism. By doing so, you not only protect yourself from being misled, but also contribute to fostering a culture of openness and honesty around you. Why is this understanding vital for someone practicing Stoicism? Stoicism isn't merely about reacting to external circumstances. It's about understanding and interpreting the essence of those circumstances deeply. Marcus Aurelius, a staunch Stoic, once noted, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." By recognizing and questioning the practice of concealing information, we engage more deeply with reality, making decisions that are thoughtful, deliberate, and congruent with our values. Consider this question. How might your life change if you were privy to all hidden facts? Reflecting on this question encourages us not just to think about manipulation, but also to consider the broader implications of our reactions to it. As we navigate through life's myriad challenges, let us strive to look beyond the superficial presentations of truth and seek a deeper, more complete understanding. In embracing the Stoic way, we aim not merely to endure life, but to truly comprehend and master it. In our upcoming discussions, we will explore how these principles can be integrated more fully into different aspects of your life, helping you to remain vigilant and empowered in the face of manipulation. Stay tuned, and remember, the pursuit of wisdom is a continuous journey, not a final destination. 10. Fear attachment. In the complex landscape of human interactions where every conversation could subtly morph into a mental battleground, the awareness and understanding of manipulation tactics become essential. Now, we delve into a particularly insidious strategy known as fear attachment. This manipulation method involves creating scenarios that paint compliance as the only viable escape from dire consequences, effectively cornering the victim into obedience. The ubiquity of this tactic spans various facets of life, from personal relationships where a partner might threaten abandonment to professional environments where job security is dangled like a sword. Even in marketing and politics, fear is a common tool used to pressurize decisions. To adeptly navigate these treacherous currents, it's first crucial to recognize when fear is being manipulated as a lever against you. Embracing the Stoic philosophy, one must maintain a serene detachment and scrutinize the supposed inevitabilities with a rational mind. Consulting trusted peers can also provide alternative perspectives that challenge the manipulator's narrative. Reflecting on the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, "He who does not prevent a crime when he can encourages it," we see the importance of confronting and deconstructing fear tactics to avoid perpetuating them. Remaining composed and avoiding rash decisions under the cloud of fear is key, as hurried choices often lead to regret. Building one's self-esteem and nurturing a supportive network are vital defenses against manipulation. Clear understanding of your personal boundaries and rights equips you to stand firmly against manipulative attempts. Furthermore, developing resilience and effective coping strategies to manage fear assertively can significantly reduce the manipulator's impact on your emotional and decision-making processes. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This wisdom is particularly relevant in our modern lives, where external pressures are omnipresent. Equipping ourselves with the knowledge of such manipulation tactics not only fortifies us against them but also prepares us to face the world more perceptively, unshaken by coercive forces. In the theater of life, where conflicts abound, the most effective weapon is indeed a well-prepared mind. Blame game. The tactic known as the blame game is an insidious form of manipulation that you absolutely need to be vigilant about. It's where the manipulator cleverly shifts responsibility for their own errors or misdeeds onto their victim. To put this into a real-world context, imagine you're at your job and you find yourself unfairly blamed for a project's failures that were either a collective issue or primarily the fault of someone else. Or perhaps in a more personal setting, you might have experienced a partner who accuses you of triggering their unjustified, jealous, or irrational behaviors. These scenarios are textbook examples of the blame game in action. This manipulation strategy is particularly effective because it accomplishes two goals simultaneously. It diverts attention from the manipulator's own inappropriate actions and erodes the victim's self-esteem and assertiveness. This is achieved by making the victim feel guilty and filled with doubt, even about actions they haven't committed. By imposing guilt, the manipulator ensures the victim is more likely to apologize excessively and assume responsibilities that are not rightfully theirs. This not only diminishes the victim's self-confidence, but also fortifies the manipulator's position of control and influence. What steps can you take to defend yourself against such a manipulation? First and foremost, it's imperative to maintain a robust sense of reality. Acknowledge that you should not bear the blame for circumstances beyond your control or for others' actions. Enhancing your self-awareness and building your self-esteem are crucial measures that enable you to identify and reject these unwarranted accusations. Keeping a detailed record of events and conversations can be extremely helpful. Such records serve as objective evidence that can refute false allegations and help maintain your perspective when your reality is being challenged. Setting clear boundaries is also key. By communicating assertively that you will not accept blame shifting, you can effectively challenge the manipulator and safeguard your mental well-being. Additionally, seeking support from friends, family, or professionals can provide you with validation and further perspective, assisting you in escaping the manipulator's imposed cycle of guilt. Reflect on why someone might resort to such manipulative behavior. As you ponder this question, evaluate your own interactions and the dynamics they entail. Understanding and countering manipulation not only protects your mental health, but also ensures your independence and integrity. Confronting these tactics head-on allows you to reclaim your power and promotes an environment where truth and accountability prevail over deceit and coercion. Arm yourself with this knowledge and approach your relationships and professional engagements with renewed confidence, equipped to recognize and counteract manipulative behaviors effectively. False praise. In today's complex social and professional landscapes, understanding manipulation tactics can profoundly impact our emotional well-being and interpersonal relationships. Let's delve into a particularly subtle form of manipulation: false praise. Consider a scenario where you receive a compliment that feels slightly out of place or excessive. This might not just be an awkward attempt at kindness, but could very well be an instance of false praise, a strategic manipulation technique where insincere compliments are used not merely to flatter, but to control or influence someone's behavior. False praise is often employed by manipulators to achieve several objectives. It can be used to gain a victim's trust, make them lower their guard, or instill a feeling of indebtedness. Manipulators skillfully deploy compliments to engineer a positive atmosphere, crafting a deceptive sense of security around their targets. Whether it's praising your work, appearance, intelligence, or skills. The underlying goal is to make you feel positively toward them, thereby increasing your likelihood to reciprocate the good feelings or respond favorably to their requests. However, distinguishing false praise from genuine compliments is crucial. True compliments stem from a sincere desire to acknowledge and appreciate someone's qualities without expecting anything in return. In contrast, false praise is underpinned by ulterior motives. It is deliberate and calculated, often with the manipulator not believing their own words. They recognize that compliments can effectively influence and modify behavior. Reflecting on the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, who noted, "The secret of all victory lies in the organization of the non-obvious," we see that discerning the authenticity of praise involves perceptive observation of subtle cues. Is the person consistently generous with compliments only when they need something from you? Do their actions support their flattering words? The context, timing, and consistency of the compliments can provide critical insights into their genuineness. It's also valuable to consider how you respond to compliments. Do you find your actions influenced by them? Developing a robust sense of self-esteem and minimizing dependency on external validation are key defenses against manipulation through false praise. As you reflect on this discussion, ask yourself, how do you distinguish genuine praise from manipulative flattery in your personal and professional life? Engaging with this question can help bolster your emotional defenses, enabling you to interact more confidently and authentically in various social settings. (13) Victimization. In a world where manipulation tactics frequently surface in our interactions, understanding and countering these can be pivotal. Particularly prevalent is the tactic of victimization, where individuals present themselves as unjustly harmed or suffering due to forces beyond their control. This strategy leverages human empathy to extract concessions, support, or even to shift blame away from their misdeeds. Victimization is often a strategic play, not a genuine cry for help, aimed at achieving specific ends such as evading responsibility or garnering unwarranted advantages. The effectiveness of this tactic lies in its appeal to our innate instincts to assist those perceived as vulnerable or oppressed. However, it is crucial to recognize this tactic for what it truly is, a manipulative ploy rather than a genuine expression of distress. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, succinctly captured the essence of manipulation when he remarked, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." This highlights the importance of facing challenges directly, not manipulating others' perceptions. Manipulators adept at playing the victim often twist the narrative to position themselves as the aggrieved party, especially after they have committed a transgression. By inverting the roles of victim and perpetrator, they aim to escape the repercussions of their actions, and might even coerce the true victim into assuming the role of the offender. It's a cunning reversal of roles that can lead to significant emotional and psychological turmoil. To safeguard oneself against being manipulated through victimization, a balanced approach of empathy and scrutiny is essential. While it is important to offer support during genuine adversities, a discerning eye must be kept on potential patterns of manipulative behavior. Establishing firm boundaries and maintaining an objective stance on each individual's responsibilities can prevent falling prey to such tactics. As Marcus Aurelius once advised, reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. This Stoic principle reminds us to not only question the validity of supposed grievances, but also to avoid internalizing them as personal afflictions. Relating this to our modern lives, it becomes evident how crucial it is to discern the sincerity of those we interact with, be it in personal relationships or professional environments. In an era where the lines between truth and fabrication can often appear blurred, applying Stoic principles to recognize and counter manipulative tactics is not just wise, it's necessary. By fostering an environment of genuine interactions and dismissing manipulative behaviors, we can aspire to lead more authentic, and less conflicted lives. In conclusion, the art of recognizing and neutralizing manipulation through victimization is not merely about protecting oneself, but also about cultivating a deeper understanding of human behavior. As we navigate through the complexities of modern relationships, let us harness the enduring wisdom of Stoicism to guide us in developing not only a vigilant mind, but a resilient and enlightened spirit. This approach ensures that we remain both compassionate and judicious, capable of supporting true victims while preventing manipulators from exploiting our benevolence. 14. Intentional silence. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone simply won't respond to you no matter how hard you try to communicate? They ignore your messages, your calls, and your attempts at conversation, leaving you grappling with rejection and a slew of unanswered questions. This tactic, known as intentional silence or the silent treatment, is not just frustrating. It's a form of heavy manipulation designed to exert control, inflict pain, and destabilize your emotional well-being. The silent treatment works by exploiting our fundamental human needs for communication and validation. When someone abruptly stops communicating, it can send us into a tailspin of doubt and insecurity. We might start to question our own worth, our actions, and our very presence in the relationship. This form of manipulation is devastating because it uses what we crave most, acknowledgement and love, as a weapon against us. But why do manipulators use silence so effectively? It's simple. Silence is easy to wield and hard to trace. A manipulator can always claim they were just too busy or didn't see your messages, but the impact on you tells a different story. You feel invisible, unworthy, and desperate to fix whatever you may have done wrong, often conceding to demands or offering apologies, even when you're not at fault. Imagine for a moment you're working on a team project. Everything seems to be going smoothly until one day your coworker, who's also a pivotal team member, stops responding to your emails and messages. There's no sign of conflict, no harsh words exchanged. Yet their silence is loud and unsettling. Projects stall, deadlines loom closer, and despite your best efforts to reach out, you're met with nothing but cold, daunting silence. Here, the silent treatment isn't just personal. It affects your professional life, forcing you to question your competence and value to the team. So, what can you do if you find yourself on the receiving end of this manipulative silence? First, recognize it for what it is: a tactic of control, not a reflection of your worth or actions. It's crucial to maintain your integrity, affirm your self-worth, and seek support from friends or colleagues who validate your feelings. Establishing clear boundaries is also key. If the relationship, whether personal or professional, continues to be defined by such manipulation, it might be time to consider its overall health and sustainability. Now let me ask you, have you ever experienced a situation where silence was used against you? How did it make you feel, and how did you respond? Reflecting on these questions can help you identify and counteract manipulation in your relationships, empowering you to make informed decisions that protect your emotional health. In conclusion, while silence can be golden in some contexts, in the realm of manipulation, it's anything but. By understanding the dynamics of intentional silence and learning how to respond effectively, you can safeguard your emotional well-being against those who would use silence as a weapon. Remember, your voice is your power. Never let anyone's silence diminish your worth. 5 ways to keep yourself from being manipulated. Recognizing the signs of psychological manipulation is an essential first step in protecting yourself from being manipulated. Here are 5 strategies to help you maintain your autonomy and avoid falling victim to manipulative tactics. One, recognize and pay attention to how you feel. In today's fast-paced world, understanding the subtleties of psychological manipulation is crucial, especially for men aged 30 to 65, who are striving to navigate through their personal and professional lives with integrity and resilience. Stoicism, with its rich history of empowering individuals to cultivate inner strength and rational thinking, provides invaluable tools for recognizing and countering manipulative behaviors. Keep your soul in a state conformable to nature, advised the great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. This ancient wisdom holds profound relevance today, urging us to stay true to our nature by being vigilant about our emotions. To safeguard yourself from manipulation, the first step is to become acutely aware of your emotional responses. When feelings of stress, anxiety, or fear arise in any given situation, it is crucial to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, who is influencing my emotions? Why do I feel this way? Understanding the source of your emotions helps you maintain control over them, rather than allowing them to control you. Expanding upon this, it is not just about recognizing your emotions, but also about analyzing the intentions behind the actions that evoke these responses. Manipulators often use tactics such as guilt, flattery, or aggression to sway your decisions. By staying grounded in Stoic principles, you can discern the motives of others and react from a place of reason, rather than emotion. This approach not only shields you from psychological harm, but also empowers you to make decisions that align with your core values. Moreover, in our interconnected world, these manipulation tactics are not confined to personal interactions, but can also be encountered in the digital realm. Social media, advertisements, and even news outlets can sometimes play on our emotions to influence our thoughts and actions. As Seneca wisely stated, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This sentiment encourages us to look beyond surface-level emotions and seek deeper truths, thus preventing manipulative forces from distorting our perception. To effectively counter manipulation, cultivate a practice of mindfulness. Reflect on your daily interactions and the emotions they stir within you. By consistently analyzing these interactions through a Stoic lens, you will not only enhance your emotional intelligence but also develop a stronger, more resilient character that thrives on authenticity and rationality. In conclusion, as we move through the challenges of modern life, let us draw upon the timeless wisdom of Stoicism to fortify our minds against manipulation. By understanding the nature of our emotions and the motives of those around us, we embody the true spirit of Stoicism, living according to nature, grounded in rational thought and unswayed by external forces. Two, set clear boundaries. In the realm of navigating relationships, whether personal or professional, the art of setting clear boundaries stands as a cornerstone of maintaining your autonomy and warding off manipulation. Imagine you're in a scenario where colleagues consistently dump their urgent tasks on you because they know you struggle to say no. This is not just an inconvenience. It's a form of manipulation, subtle yet significant. The key to handling this lies in the proactive establishment of clear boundaries. Start by reflecting on what behaviors you accept and which ones you do not. It's crucial to articulate these boundaries confidently to those around you, ensuring there's no room for ambiguity. But what happens when someone decides to test these boundaries? It's common in many settings, from the workplace to even close relationships. Here, the strength of your resolve is tested. Standing firm and restating your boundaries in these moments is not just about maintaining the status quo. It's a powerful statement of your self-respect and demand for it from others. This action not only curtails attempts at manipulation but also fosters a culture of respect and understanding. Let me tell you a story about Maya, a young graphic designer in a bustling agency. Her talent and eagerness to help made her the go-to person for last-minute fixes in projects. Initially, she felt valued but soon realized her kindness was being exploited, leading to longer hours and increasing stress. One day, she decided enough was enough. Maya clearly communicated to her team that while she was happy to assist, her after-hours help would now be limited to true emergencies. The result? She not only reclaimed her personal time, but also gained respect from her colleagues, who now understood her limits. How does this resonate with you in your life? Are there moments where you feel pushed beyond your comfort zone because you haven't vocalized your limits? Reflecting on this can help you pinpoint areas where you might need to be more assertive. It's not merely about pushing back. It's about building relationships on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. To bring this closer to home, consider the boundaries you've set in your own life. Are they firm and respected, or do they need reinforcement? Think about the peace and empowerment that come from knowing you can protect your space and energy. Every interaction that respects your boundaries reaffirms your sense of self and your values. Remember that setting boundaries is not a one-time act, but a continuous process of defining and asserting what is acceptable to you. It's a vital practice that not only protects you from being manipulated, but also enriches your relationships. It teaches others how to treat you and sets the groundwork for your interactions. Take a moment today to assess and fortify your boundaries. Your future self will thank you for the peace and respect it brings into your life. So what will your first step be today to ensure your boundaries are clear and respected? 12. False praise. In today's complex social and professional landscapes, understanding manipulation tactics can profoundly impact our emotional well-being and interpersonal relationships. Let's delve into a particularly subtle form of manipulation: false praise. Consider a scenario where you receive a compliment that feels slightly out of place or excessive. This might not just be an awkward attempt at kindness, but could very well be an instance of false praise, a strategic manipulation technique where insincere compliments are used not merely to flatter, but to control or influence someone's behavior. False praise is often employed by manipulators to achieve several objectives. It can be used to gain a victim's trust, make them lower their guard, or instill a feeling of indebtedness. Manipulators skillfully deploy compliments to engineer a positive atmosphere, crafting a deceptive sense of security around their targets. Whether it's praising your work, appearance, intelligence, or skills, the underlying goal is to make you feel positively toward them, thereby increasing your likelihood to reciprocate the good feelings or respond favorably to their requests. This profound guidance suggests that self-awareness and integrity are your best allies. Begin by internally clarifying your viewpoint, then express it with conviction, yet openness to dialogue. In the realm of manipulation, those who do not clearly express their views are often the easiest targets. Manipulators thrive on ambiguity and can twist uncertainty to their advantage. By stating your stance with clarity, you not only communicate your views but also set the boundaries of the conversation. This act itself can deter many manipulative tactics, as it signals to others that you are not one to be easily swayed. Now I ask you, dear listener, to reflect on a recent interaction. Were you clear in expressing your own stance, or did you leave room for misinterpretation? How might this have changed the dynamic of the conversation? As we traverse through these thoughts and scenarios, remember that the goal is not just to avoid being manipulated, but to engage in meaningful and genuine interactions. The Stoic approach isn't about winning every argument, but about maintaining one's equanimity and integrity, come what may. 4. Seek external perspectives. In a world where manipulation can subtly infiltrate our everyday interactions, it's crucial to equip oneself with the knowledge to recognize and combat these tactics effectively. As we navigate through the complexities of human behavior, seeking external perspectives becomes an indispensable strategy. This approach aligns seamlessly with the Stoic philosophy, where the sage seeks to understand the world through a lens of objectivity and reason. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. When faced with situations that are unclear or emotionally charged, consulting trusted friends or family members can be enlightening. Often, those not embroiled in the immediate circumstances of our lives can offer insights that are both refreshing and clarifying. This method does more than simply provide us with another viewpoint. It bolsters our support network, offering emotional sustenance in times when we are most vulnerable to manipulative influences. This practice of seeking advice also helps solidify relationships and fosters a sense of community, a cornerstone in the Stoic way of life where the wise learn not only to benefit themselves, but also to contribute constructively to the welfare of others. In the modern context where isolation can exacerbate vulnerability to manipulation, maintaining strong, trustworthy connections is more important than ever. It serves as both a shield and a sounding board, helping us to navigate the nuances of interactions that might otherwise lead us astray. Expanding on this when consulting others, it's essential to choose advisors who exhibit virtues that align with Stoic principles: wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. These individuals are more likely to provide guidance that is not only practical, but also ethical, steering you away from reactionary decisions and towards thoughtful, deliberate action. Incorporating famous sayings or quotes can further enrich our understanding and appreciation of these tactics. Consider the words of Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This powerful reminder teaches us that while we may not always control the external forces, including manipulative tactics, we have the power to control our reactions, transforming potential manipulation into opportunities for personal growth and resilience. As you integrate these perspectives into your life, remember that the goal is not to become paranoid or overly suspicious, but to cultivate a balanced awareness of the motives of others. By applying these Stoic principles and strategies, you can protect yourself from manipulation and strengthen your character, all while contributing positively to the lives of those around you. Each interaction, then, becomes not just a moment of personal defense, but an opportunity to practice virtue, wisdom, and the art of living well according to Stoic teachings. So, as you move forward, armed with knowledge and supported by your community, take these lessons to heart. Let them not only guard you against manipulation, but also enhance your interactions and help you build a life that is robust, ethical, and deeply interconnected with those you trust and respect. In doing so, you not only defend yourself against the negative, but also open yourself up to a more positive, proactive way of engaging with the world around you. Five, respect and love yourself. In our exploration of heavy manipulation tactics, it's crucial to highlight a fundamental truth: the importance of self-respect and self-love. Remember, you are a person of immense value, deserving of respect. If you don't hold yourself in high regard, others may find it easier to manipulate and control you. Imagine walking through a bustling city street, observing various interactions. Picture a scene where someone, perhaps not unlike yourself, is approached by a charismatic figure. This figure offers something tempting, but at a subtle cost: compliance and submission. Here, the lesson is stark. When we fail to value ourselves, we become susceptible to those who would use charm and allure as a veil for manipulation. Now let's consider why someone might struggle with self-respect. It could stem from past experiences, societal messages, or even personal setbacks. But the question remains, how do you reclaim your power? The answer lies in embracing Stoicism, which teaches us to recognize our intrinsic worth and cultivate an inner fortress that no external force can breach. How do we build this fortress? Through daily practices and reflections that reinforce our self-esteem and empower us to set boundaries. By doing so, we not only protect ourselves from manipulation, but also foster healthier relationships. Reflect on this. When was the last time you felt undervalued or dismissed? How did you respond? And more importantly, how could you respond differently, armed with Stoic principles? As we conclude, remember the power of self-respect in warding off manipulation. Every day presents a new opportunity to affirm your worth and fortify your defenses. It's not just about avoiding negativity. It's about nurturing a positive, self-respecting mindset that enhances every aspect of your life. In summary, protecting yourself from manipulation begins with a profound respect for oneself. Cultivate it diligently, and watch how it transforms your interactions and shields you from the undue influence of others. Always remember, in the grand theater of life, you are both the playwright and the lead actor. Own your script and perform it with conviction. As we conclude today's exploration of heavy manipulation tactics through the lens of Stoicism on our channel, Stoic in Your Life, I encourage you all to actively integrate these lessons into your daily interactions. Understanding and applying the Stoic virtues of justice and wisdom can empower you to navigate complex relationships with greater clarity and resilience. By being fair yet vigilant, and by seeking the truth behind people's actions, you equip yourself with a robust armor against manipulation. I urge you to reflect on these teachings and consider how they might transform your responses to manipulative behaviors. How can the principles discussed today enhance your personal growth and contribute to a happier, more balanced life? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, consider subscribing for more wisdom from Stoic philosophy. Together, let's continue our journey towards becoming more virtuous and unshakable individuals in the face of life's challenges. Thank you for watching, and remember, the path to true happiness is through virtue and understanding.